Good morning, my little dumpster fire babies. How is everyone doing this morning? I hope that your day is off to a wonderful, fantastic start. If this is your first time here, hi, my name is Carrington. Would love for you to join this dumpster fire. You can do so by hitting that subscribe button. Don't forget to click the little bell so you're notified of all my future uploads. If y'all enjoyed this video, then definitely give this video a thumbs up. And let's dive into today's video, which is testing out new drugstore makeup. I'm excited for drugstore makeup. I hope you guys are excited for drugstore makeup because I have a lot of it. I have so much makeup to test. It's ridiculous. I have been so sick. So sick. A lot of the videos that you guys have seen thus far either have been pre-filmed before I started getting really sick, or I tried filming and it took me a really long time to complete the video. I'm now finally getting better. So I've got a lot of makeup we need to test out. So we're gonna dive into first doing some drugstore makeup. So first and foremost, for the eyes, CoverGirl came out with these clean color, clean fresh. I don't know. Are these supposed to be? Okay, so it's a clean vegan formula. That's what the back of it says. So I have this one, which is going to be in mellow mauve. I have spiced copper, and then I have this right here, which is dreamy pink. So I was really only interested in getting one, truthfully, but Ulta had it where it was like buy two things from CoverGirl, get one free. There wasn't really anything new in CoverGirl that I was really interested in besides these, so I just picked up. I know, I picked up another one, but I got one for free, so it's like, it's like a win. Don't tempt me with a good time. Next up is I have the e.l.f. This is the Power Grip Primer. This has 4% niacinamide in it. I love the Power Grip primers. I think I have all of them. I've got like the watermelon, I've got the mint, the regular, whatever. Okay, also from e.l.f. is we have the Luminous Putty Primers. I have one that's a little bit more cool tone, and then I do have one that's a little bit more warm that we're going to test out. I think we might just test out one, but we'll find out. I have this Luminous Putty Blush. This is Isla del Sol. Isla del Sol. So I still need to try this out. And then last thing I think from e.l.f. is I finally got my hands on this e.l.f. Halo Glow Liquid Filter Glow Booster for Radiant Skin. This is probably the most polarized product I have seen yet on YouTube. There are people, you either love it or you hate it. I feel like there is no in between. Next up is I have the LA Girl Brow Pomade. I got mine in the shade Black. I still feel like this is not going to be black enough to match my hair. I don't know. Okay, so then next up is going to be Revlon. I've got the Illuminance Skin Caring Foundation. It has 5% squalene and hyaluronic acid. So anything that's good for the skin, I'm here for. I got a little sample of the Milani highly rated anti-gravity mascara because I bought the Milani brow stay put liquid brow wax. Get it together, Carrington. Then I have this Milani Conceal and Perfect Blur Out Primer. I don't know if that's new or not because that was in the new section of Ulta. No idea if it's new or not. Then we have this from Kiss. These are in collaboration with Meredith Duxbury. These are limited edition. So we have some lashes. I don't even know if it says what it is. It just says contacts lens friendly. All nighter. Okay, so it says in the package. These are all nighter. And then we have another. I love these. Okay, I love these. These Vinyl Ink liquid lipsticks. This is in the shade Peppy. I think that'll go with the eye look I'm thinking of. So, if you guys are excited to see what I think of these products, we will then rank them at the end. What look I create, then definitely keep on watching. I'm going to try to use a little bit of shades from each of the palettes. So I like to do my eyes first. So first off, I'm going to start off with this palette right here called Dreamy Pink. I don't think these have any shade names. Nope, they do not have any shade names. So the first shade that I'm going to start off with is I'm going to start off with this shade right here. The darker of the mattes. I'm going to pick a little bit up, tap a little bit of it off, and then actually hold on, let me zoom you in. So we are diving in with that shade. So far the pigmentation is good, it's pretty decent. I honestly can't remember how much Kick Up was in the pan, but I will need to go back in a second time to build it up. Okay, well that's really interesting. Because when you put it down, right, you can see, okay, let me just like demonstrate. Number one, there's quite a bit of Kick Up. There is some Kick Up in the pan. Okay, right, like I have this on here and it does appear to be really pigmented. See how pigmented that is? And then you start working and like blending it, right? Trying to blend it on out. And for whatever reason, it still, you know, stays, you know, with some color and some pigment there, but it just feels like it just kind of almost gets blended out in a way. Like it just doesn't stay super pigmented. I don't know. So that's just kind of what I'm noticing with this. And then I like to bring my shadows up to my brow because I'm have very hooded eyes. So my crease and my transition area are all relied in this area here. So I have to bring it on up there. I'm now going to go ahead, dive on into this Spiced Copper palette. I want to go into this shade right here. We will see. We might do a little bit. That shade has quite a bit of Kick Up, like markedly more than the other one. I'm just going to see if this really deepens up anything. And then if not, I'll go in with the other shade. But it does look like it is deepening up a little bit here. Okay. I really feel like this one doesn't really get brushed, like you know, blended out into nothing. I feel like this shade really has some pretty good pigmentation in it. What I am going to do is I do kind of want a little bit more depth and dimension, so I'm just going to dab into that other shade in the Spiced Copper palette. It's like a little bit deeper. Just kind of focus that on the outer corner and then kind of like bringing it in. So that way it has a lot, yeah, that makes it a lot more depth and dimension for sure. For the outer corner, we're gonna go on to the shade right here. This is in the Mellow Mauve palette. And we're just gonna start stamping that onto the outer corner. This might take a little bit of stamping and building up. It's because, again, I just kind of feel like it's kind of losing some of its pigmentation once I put it on. The lid, the fallout is a lot with this shade. And it could be the brush that I'm using too, but just to be aware, it plays a lot of fallout. Now let's go ahead, let's dive on into some shimmers on the lid. So I'm going to go into the Spiced Copper palette and I'm going to try to open this palette. These palettes are kind of hard to open. I'm going to take this shade right here. I'm going to take that on my finger. These feel a little bit dry. Ooh, fallout galore. That's a lot of fallout. Okay. Let's see. Okay, yeah, it probably isn't like my favorite shimmer formula. I don't think it's terrible. I did, you know, put some NYX glitter glue underneath because I am a huge NYX glitter glue fan. I love that for shimmers, glitters, metallics, duochromes, multi-chromes, whatever the case may be for all over the lid. But this is so dry and it's just falling out everywhere. It just, and you could feel it. It feels just like very gritty and very dry. It is not something I would ride home about. Okay, so then we're going to go on into the Dreamy Pink. And I'm going to go on into, like those would be so similar. Let's try this shade right here. Okay, this feels markedly different than the first one. This feels much softer. And I'm not really experiencing any sort of fallout with this shade. Again, It just feels soft, very nice and soft. But, okay, so this in shade here, again, feels dry, very, very chunky. Yep, it's just so chunky. This is very, very chunky and glittery. So, this is definitely a lot more smooth than the other one. We're now going to move on into this mascara. This is the Milani highly rated anti-gravity mascara. I have never tried this, so okay. So it's one of those like little like plastic spiky ones, which are usually like my least favorite. Maybe it's because like I just now opened it, but or maybe because it's like a free gift, it's just not really come with a whole lot of product because it just feels dry. And like it's not doing much. I'm going to cover it up anyways with like lashes. On this side, I didn't really feel like as dry, but okay. So now we have the Kiss lashes, and we're just going to pop them on. Okay. So it's a very thin band, but they do pop on nicely. Very, very voluminous lashes. I wouldn't say it's like they're overly dramatic. So if you want something overly dramatic, she does have another pair with Kiss that I did purchase that I'm sure that I will showcase in another video. But like in terms of this being like super, super dramatic, I would say no, they're not super dramatic. They are not super natural either. I feel like they're like a very nice in between where it has some drama, has some flair, but without being like overly too much. Also, shout out to this because now you can just like put these in a cute little case. There are a lot of drugstore lashes that literally you have this case. You know, you have like the little insert inside and then you just keep putting the insert back in. It doesn't come in a really protective case like that. So I'm very appreciative. So now we're going to go ahead and we are going to move on into the priming of the face. So we're going to start off first with the e.l.f. Power Grip Primer, 4% niacinamide. So this helps, you know, grip makeup, even skin tone, with a 4% niacinamide infused clear gel primer. The texture grips onto the skin, brightens the look of dullness, and provides an effortless glow for perfect makeup application. Okay, so as with always, you do have to let this like set in for a little bit. So it comes with like a little bit of a pink jelly. Let's see if I can get this pumping. There we go. I don't really smell a smell. It kind of smells kind of silicone-y. Like if you know what silicone smells like, you know what I'm talking about. But I'm just gonna go ahead, just start putting this all over the face. So I usually like to start off with like patting it in. It's because sometimes it can interfere with like my skincare that I might have on if I like rub it and try to pill it up because of how tacky it is. Okay, so this says to wait for 30 seconds. So while we are waiting for that, we're going to go ahead and talk about this product right here, the e.l.f. Halo Glow. This is infused with squalene and hyaluronic acid. This glow booster creates a skin-enhancing soft focus effect for effortless radiance. It's the only filter you'll ever need. You can wear this alone, under or over makeup, mix with foundation, or as a highlighter. Apply to desired areas and blend into skin. So in a way, it kind of reminds me of just packaging alone with the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless filter. I have no idea if it's the same. This doe foot is also, I will say, markedly bigger. Oh, I have a little hair. And it's still there. Okay. Am I imagining? Nope, there it goes. I think it was part of the lashes. It's a big doe foot. Than the Charlotte Tilbury, but okay. So now we've got that. I'm just gonna rub this in with my fingers. This product, I don't really feel like adds a whole lot of hydration. I don't know if it necessarily really claims to be super hydrating. It does just say like it glow, like adds glow, because like you could use this as a highlighter, it says, on top of makeup. So okay, so in terms of this providing glow, 100% this provides glow. My skin is glowy, a little bit hoey, and a dash of Fazoli, you know? Now we have this from Revlon. This is the Illuminant Skin Caring Foundation. So this is makeup and skincare in one, has medium coverage, a natural finish, reduces the appearance of wrinkles over time, deeply hydrates skin. My skin is always dry. I have mine in the shade, does it say somewhere? 109 Light Ivory. Okay, so I was trying to get the lighter shade, however it was sold out, so I was like, well, if I like this, then I can buy the lighter shade, you know? Can't be that bad. Okay, so here is one pump. So I'm just gonna take my sponge, tap that from the back of my hand, and we're gonna start working that in with the sponge. I personally don't like any foundations with a brush. I just don't know what it is, but I hate a brush. Like, I don't know what it is, but I do. Oh, pretty. This is pretty. Okay. So I will say one thing about like the e.l.f. Halo Glow. You can tell this was made for fair skin, or let me rephrase that. This was supposed to be made for fair skin. Let me say that. I feel like maybe not. Maybe not so much. But I will say the foundation is covering that up, like covering the discoloration up quite a bit. You know, so I'm pretty appreciative of that. It just looks so good on my skin. It's so nice, so hydrating, right? Not looking overly cakey. I do have texture. I do have pores. Okay, I don't use filters. Right? Right? Because nobody's skin is like so flawless, it's stupidly ridiculous, right? It just isn't. So, I really do like this. I don't feel like it's setting on top of my skin. I honestly just feel like it's like sinking into my skin. We're now going to move on into the e.l.f. Putty Blushes. We have this one right here. This is in the shade Vacay Mood. This is definitely more like of that cool tone contour type shade. And then this one right here is Summer Fridays, and this is definitely a little bit warmer. Since the eye look is leaning slightly more warm, I think I want to go into this warmer type shade. The Summer Fridays. So here's what it looks like inside. You can see some of the shimmeriness. Let's see what happens when we swatch it. Okay. So yeah, it has a little bit of that sheeniness to it. I'm not always the biggest fan, if we're going to be honest, of using shimmery type bronzers. But I'm always, open to trying, a new product. Maybe this one will blow me away, Okay. So this is definitely a very buildable formula, same as the other one. This is going to be great if you like being able to build up. This is going to be a great formula if you are new to cream bronzers and not really for sure how much you need, because some cream bronzers can get a little bit carried away pretty quickly. So this formula is definitely going to be that for people who are maybe just starting out in the cream bronzer world. This might also be a really good option if you're kind of nervous about shimmery bronzers, how well you might like one. So I think, this definitely is a good formula. I personally don't mind if something's a little bit pigmented, and I don't mind if it's definitely something that might be, something that needs to be built up, right? I'm not one of those, like I'm in like the biggest hurry, right? I allot myself up to an hour and a half to 2 hours. most days to do my makeup. So if I need to build, I'm okay with that. But so far, just as with the other putty bronzer, you know, the non-luminous, it's very, very beautiful. You know, sinks wonderfully right into that skin. You know, it does say, you know, it is a luminous bronzer. And what I will say, yeah, there's some luminosity to it. Right? But I don't feel like it's like we're talking it's luminous and just full of shimmer and sparkle and glitter reflex. I really honestly, looking at this, I don't see any glitter reflex at all. But it does still just provide. My hair drives me insane, y'all. Ugh. But it does provide like that sheeniness. And I think it's really, really cute. And I think it's really like a very beautiful choice. I think this would be great if you want something really nice and radiant and you don't want to have to set anything with powder. That would be fantastic. So then for our cream blush, we have the Luminous Putty Blush. So we're getting a little bit excited in the luminous department today. I couldn't tell you. This is a very bright orange type shade. Here's what it looks like swatched. Kind of hard to tell. Let me see if I can build it up. Okay. I think that's going to go perfectly with the eyes, truthfully. I don't know why I was trying to close that up. So I like to take blushes, get some on the back of my sponge. I like to kind of tap it out just a little bit. And then we'll go on in, right on into the cheeks. Well, we're going to move on into the setting of the face. This is supposed to be translucent. I don't get it. But anyways, so you open it up and it has like this little mesh part. I'm a little bit nervous about, oh, that made a mess. Okay. That is messy. Tap off a little bit. Let's go ahead and start setting the face, seeing what we think. Right. I will say it did darken things up just a little bit. I don't want to say like, oh my gosh, this is so much darker. I can't help, you know. I don't think it's that bad. I will say it actually is a pretty nice powder. I don't think I like this powder for underneath my eyes. I feel like underneath my eyes it doesn't look the best. But like my face, it looks really good and smooth. But again, it's underneath my eyes that I don't really care for this powder for. I would prefer like my Maybelline Fit Me for like underneath my eyes. But this isn't bad. I like to set my brows first, like kind of get like some shape to it. So this is the Milani Liquid Brow Wax. This is, I have mine in the shade Clear. I think they do have other shades. The way that this is applying and making my brows look, in a way, kind of almost reminds me of the Benefit 24-Hour Brow Setter. Not sure if it's going to be like an exact dupe or anything, but so far kind of feels that way. So we're going to go ahead and move on into the lower lash line. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start off with this shade right here, which is what we started off with, you know, originally. And we are just going to start smoking this out. Like so. Move right on into that next palette that we had, which is the Spiced Copper. And we'll just kind of marry some of the shades together, just to kind of create a little bit more depth and dimension, because we all could use some dimension. And then we'll move into that Mellow Mauve, or that last shade, and we'll just work on it right out here. I have to go grocery shopping and I don't want to. I'm just thinking about it now and like how much I don't want to go grocery shopping. It sounds miserable. It sounds miserable. I think I'm going to cry. Okay. Okay, there's something. Well, maybe we'll try this. Okay. I always get like caught up in like, okay, I feel like everybody else says that they plan out their looks before filming. I honestly just sit down and we're just gonna see what happens. We're gonna let the magic unfold. Sit down, let the magic unfold. I don't know. So I'm gonna try this shade right here. I don't know how well it's gonna go because it's kind of one of the more chunky shades. I'm gonna put that right here in my inner corner, or I'm gonna try to attempt to. So now we have this LA Girl Brow Pomade. I'm not like I don't use a lot of brow pomades, okay? So this is a first, but what I'm going to start off with first is just outlining my brow. I have like this little liner brush, but I'm going to use this for my brows. I'm going to dip into that brow pomade. I hope this is dark enough. I'm just going to start outlining the under parts of my brow too. Okay. I think it, okay, yeah, it makes it a little bit darker, but this still is not black. Why can't we have a good black? Just a good black to have, you know? I don't know. Then I'm just gonna set, and I have not dipped back into that pot, and start filling in my brows to the best of my ability. Again, I don't use brow pomade, so this may not look good. This is my first time ever. This is probably one of like the darker brow products that I have tried, truthfully. But I don't necessarily know that it's the black that I'm looking for, because I want it to match my hair right there. So now we're gonna move on into the lip. This is the Maybelline Vinyl Ink. Okay, I've done like a million of these in the shade Peppy. Make sure that you guys really are shaking this up. And I think this will go. I hope this will go. We'll see, I'll find out. Oh, this is more pink than I thought it would be. Okay. Okay. So here's the completed and final look, testing out some new Drugstore makeup. So what do you guys think of the finished look? I think it turned out really nicely. I do obviously have some thoughts on the products at hand. So let's dive in from my least favorite to my most favorite. Coming in last place is going to be this Milani highly rated anti-gravity mascara. I really feel like it didn't do a lot for my lashes. I didn't know if it was just because I just opened it that might be the case. I'm also not a fan of like the plastic spiky brushes. That's just something I'm really not into. So that alone is enough to knock it to the bottom for me. But then again, just like the formula just felt really dry and like it wasn't doing anything. I will try to test it again after it's been open for a few days, see if that makes any difference and actually what it does for my lashes. But other than that, it's like one of those, I'm glad I got it for free to try, but like I wouldn't pay full price for it. Next up is going to be the e.l.f. Halo Glow. This provides like no hydration. This is very much just I wouldn't say it's an exact dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury. It just has like some similar qualities to it. I wouldn't call it an exact dupe, but this is, it's good, except for this really is way too dark for me. And this is geared towards fair skin. Like I am fair skin. Like I'm the fairest of the fair. No. Like, no. No. But I will say I did provide that glow, so I, didn't hate it. Next is going to be this Milani. I think it sat the face really, really beautifully again. Like, it just looks so good. The only issues that I have with this is, number one, this is really deep and dark as well. It doesn't change the color or is as deep and dark as like the e.l.f., but it definitely isn't translucent. So just wanted to make that make that known, especially if you're very, very fair, especially if you might be even more fair than me. This is probably going to change the color of your foundation just slightly. But I really thought it really like smoothed over, blurred the pores. I do not like it for my under eyes though. I don't know, I just feel like it looks really heavy and really cakey underneath my eyes. Not a fan of that, but I think it's a good powder for like the face. Next up is going to be these CoverGirl Clean Palettes. I really will say I didn't really have too many issues with it. I thought it was good. My only qualms with this is that you do have to really kind of build it up. It kind of feels like it kind of loses some pigment as you keep blending, which I know it's like, well, yeah, that's the point of blending, but I'm like, no, I shouldn't just be like, whoa, wait, where did the color actually go on a couple of them? And then I do not like these chunky, dry feeling glitter as compared to like these. Like, you can tell the difference. Each palette has one that's super chunky and one that's super smooth. I really like the super smooth one. I have no issue with the super smooth one. But as you can tell, the chunky one, you have to like sit there and blend it out really well. And then it just falls all over the face. It gets everywhere. Next up is going to be this LA Girl brow pomade. I don't think I've ever used a brow pomade. No, I don't think so. So this is really my first time. I don't hate it. I actually think it turned out really like good. I think the only issue that I really kind of have with this is it's still just not matching my hair. I want something that's going to match my hair. I'm still on the hunt. If anybody knows something that's going to be like this deep and dark, let me know. Or am I just kind of doomed to have brows like this? I just need to know. I need to know. But it was really easy to use, really pigmented. I didn't have any issues. I liked it. I think it makes my brows look really good. And it doesn't take as long to like sit there with like a brow pencil. This is easy. Next up is going to be this Milani Stay Put Liquid Brow Wax. It's definitely, you can feel where it's like, it has like a hold to it, but it's not like so crinkly and crunkly, you know, like crisp, where it's just like, ooh, this might be a little bit too strong of a hold. It definitely has like, you know, some wiggle room, some leeway. So I really did like that. I wouldn't say this is a dupe for the Benefit 24 Hour. It applies like it is, but it doesn't have that hold like the Benefit 24 Hour. But I do think like for a drugstore option that this is pretty decent. Next up from the drugstore, obviously these are all drugstore products, but anyways, is going to be these Kiss lashes. It has a really nice small band. It was easy to apply. I think they're really pretty. They're not super dramatic, but they're not super natural either. It's a really good in between. I love that it comes in like this little case that you could just open, put your lashes back on, close up, and be good to go. I love that. I know like Glamlight, Lily Lashes has like one of the boxes. You open up the boxes, then it closes, you know, shut. Most drugstore don't really always have those, so I really appreciate that. Next is going to be the e.l.f. Power Grip. I really do like the Power Grip primers. I really feel like it really grips onto my foundation. I do feel like it definitely lasts a little bit longer. So this is like a product that like I love in general. As for was this any different, you know, with the niacinamide versus like the regular, I can't really tell off of using it this first time. I didn't really feel like it did anything different than the other ones. You know, but this may be something I need to use more to see more effects of, you know, with this niacinamide. But I do really, really like the e.l.f. Power Grips. I do use those quite frequently for my makeup, especially if I need something that's going to last. I know I'm going to put that on and I know it's going to be good to go. Next up is going to be the Luminous Putty Blush. I'm actually just going to put these two together because they were right next to each other. And the Putty Bronzer. So these are great. These are buildable formulas. If you don't want something that's going to be buildable, that you have to take your time with, that they are, because they are pretty light. You know, like I'm pretty fair and you would be like, oh, you're so fair, like that should easily show up. It did take some building. If you are one of those, you don't want to take the time to build, these aren't going to be for you. If you are new to creams, if you are new to maybe shimmery creams, if you are somebody where you easily go overboard and you like being able to just slowly build up, you are really going to like these. I really like these. I can do something where it's like, yeah, it's super pigmented right off the bat. I don't have to worry about building it up. But also sometimes there are times where it's just like, I would like, it doesn't bother me to have to build up. The products sank into the skin beautifully. I had no problems, no issues there. The products were very easy to use. The products looked really, really beautiful. It has like a luminosity to it, but it's not like a luminosity where you're just like, I look like a disco ball. There's a lot of glitter in there. It's a really, really beautiful formula. So for as beautiful as this is and how well it sinks into the skin, even as you apply more and more layers, I'm okay with that, and I really like those. Next up is going to be these Maybelline Superstay Vinyl Inks. Love these, of course. I was kind of thinking this was going to be a little bit more orange, not quite so pink. I think it went okay still with the look. But again, I would have liked something that was maybe like a little bit more orange to kind of tie in more of this look. But I really love how like long lasting these are. These last a very long time. It provides like a glossiness, right? But it's like a matte, right? It's like a matte. So good. So number one spot is going to be this foundation. This is the Revlon Illuminant Skin Caring Foundation. This is really, really beautiful. I would recommend, especially because I know a lot of people have issues with like the skin caring like foundations, where it just kind of sets on their skin weird. For me, I really like to pump out a tiny amount, whether that be a pump or half a pump. This does have a pretty small, one pump. The one pump is a pretty small amount. I really like just like stippling it in on my sponge and then just starting to go in on the sponge on the face. I feel like that kind of helps with soak up some product from the hand so you're not getting too much, and then being able to stipple it in and soak up the excess product as well. But then again, this was very, very radiant. I did not emphasize texture, didn't emphasize my pores, really sank into the skin super well. Like it's wearing really nicely. It played well with all the other products that I have on my face. Like I don't have any like issues with it with any of the other products that I use. So that is it for today's video. I hope that you all enjoyed. If you did, definitely give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget, hit that subscribe button, click the little bell, leave a comment down below your favorite gift you got, favorite gift you gave for the holidays. Don't forget to go follow me over on Instagram, and I will see you all in my next one. Bye.